Hello and welcome to School Governance, an introduction for principals. My name is Alice Gawler and I'm the Project Manager for Community Engagement and Governance with the Northern Territory Council of Government School Organisations, NT-COGSO. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging across the lands of the Northern Territory on which we are all meeting today. During the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be speaking to you about your role as principal on a school representative body, school council or school board, in addition to your role as a principal of a school management council. We're going to talk about accessing training, support and advice from NT-COGSO, the legislative requirements under the Education Act, education regulations, and ministerial guidelines published by the Department of Education. We're going to talk about the duties of members under the Constitution. And we'll wrap up at the end talking about partnerships and the importance of genuine engagement with your school communities to ensure the best decision making for all students in your school. As an organisation, the Northern Territory Council of Government School Organisations, NT-COGSO, is the peak parent body for public education across the Northern Territory. We were established in 1971, and as an organisation, we provide advocacy and representation at a territory and federal level to ensure that public education in the Northern Territory is always at the forefront of all conversations regarding education. As we are funded by the Department of Education, our service delivery for training, support and advice is able to be provided to all Northern Territory government schools at no cost to your school community or individual members. Working with our team, we can deliver contextualised and culturally appropriate training to your school community. We can work with each individual school community to ensure that our training resources and training delivery meets the needs of your school community. Should you have any questions throughout the year on school governance or need to seek advice, please do not hesitate to contact us via phone or email. We are always happy to help and support. There is a lot of information to learn and understand and read about school governance and school representative bodies. We are here to help make your jobs easier. So please do not hesitate to pick up the phone or send an email should you require support or advice. Throughout the year, we will also work with school representative bodies to coordinate financial governance and industrial relations training, ensuring that all members have access to the training that they need to support them to be effective in their role as a school representative body member. If you haven't done so already, please do not hesitate to log into our website and register to access and download all of our resources. As mentioned, all of our resources can be adaptable to your school community needs. So please do not hesitate to reach out and seek support and advice if there is anything that you are after that you are unable to find or that you would like help in contextualising for your school representative body. Please also encourage all of your members to also log in and register for our resources. The Education Act Part 6 legislates parent and community involvement in government schools. Within the Education Act Part 6, the objective of this part is to recognise the importance of parents and communities in school governance. Part 6 also talks about the establishment and operation of school representative bodies and the requirement for you as a principal, should your school not have an established school representative body, the requirement for you to establish one. There may be some schools, small remote schools, who do not have capacity under the requirements within the Education Act regulations and guidelines to establish a school council or school board. school representative body. If this is the case, and you're a principal of a small school who is unable to establish a school representative body, you are required to establish a parent consultative group. This is an opportunity to commence the engagement of parents and families within your school. It's an opportunity to share the decisions that you're making and an opportunity for families to have input into the decisions that you make on behalf of their school community. The Education Act Part 6 talks again about establishment within Section 102, reinforcing that a principal of a government school must, if there is no school representative body established, take reasonable steps each year to establish one. If you are new to a school within the Northern Territory and you are unsure if your school has an established school representative body or whether you have capacity to establish one, please do not hesitate to reach out and seek support and advice. We can guide you through the process to establish. We can travel to your school community and talk to them about their options for governance under the Education Act. A school representative body, school council or school board, is a body corporate with perpetual succession and a common seal. As a school representative body, you are able to enter into agreements and contracts. You are also able to purchase, own, and dispose or sell of property. As an incorporated body under the Education Act, you are also able to be sued for breaches of these agreements and also may sue for any breach of agreements. Understanding your roles, responsibilities, and functions under the Education Act are essential when it comes to being sued or suing. Because within the Education Act, Section 106 provides for protection from liability. As members, this section applies if you are acting in good faith. Members can only act in good faith if they are aware of their roles and responsibilities and duties under the legislation. As we move throughout the slides, I will be talking to you about how you and your members can ensure that you're acting in good faith. As an incorporated body under the Education Act, the school representative body has a constitution. As a school representative body, you'll work in partnership with your school and community to ensure that there is a strategic focus on improvement that you're monitoring and reviewing throughout the year, that you're accountable to your school community. Each school representative body needs to be autonomous and responsive to the needs of its community. School representative bodies have financial, strategic, and advisory functions under the Education Act. And as the Education Act is about parent and community involvement in government schools, it is essential that there is a genuine partnership between you as principal, parents, communities, and the school as a whole, with everyone working together for the best outcomes for all students. Section 107 of the Education Act details the functions from A to O. The roles and responsibilities of a school council sit within these 15 functions. These 15 functions can be divided into 7 categories: curriculum, accountability and performance planning, finances and the school budget, establishing and maintaining family school partnerships, property maintenance and management, employees of a school representative body, and policies. Drawing on these 15 functions, able to determine what the expectations of members are when being on a school representative body. So all members of a school representative body are involved in developing the broad strategic direction and vision for the school. This is working in collaboration and partnership with you as principal on the strategic planning process. Members provide input into the development and implementation and endorsement of school representative body policy. All members must always be focused on community conversations, challenges, and solutions for education in their school. Members must also ensure that they are responsive to the local community needs. Throughout the year, members are expected to provide strategic oversight, approve the distribution, and monitor the performance of the annual budget. As principal, it is your responsibility to support members in understanding their financial functions and to ensure that the required monthly financial reports are presented to the council or board school representative body at each meeting. Members are also expected to assess and advise on the physical needs of the school and oversee work on the buildings and grounds. The school representative body approves the use of school facilities outside of school hours. This is about building community partnerships and ensuring accountability and transparency is in place, protecting members from liability through the use of an agreement to ensure that all school resources are managed appropriately. The school representative body is also involved in fundraising by determining priorities and ensuring that funds raised for the school are spent accordingly. A school representative body also determines fees and seeks voluntary contributions for parents. Again, it is important, as with fundraising, that any voluntary contributions are used for the purpose on which they were determined. A school representative body is the legal employer of all school representative body staff. As principal, it is important that you work with your members and your school business manager to ensure that you are able to support protection from liability by seeking the appropriate advice when it comes to your employer and employee arrangements. It's wonderful to work with schools across the Northern Territory and to receive such positive feedback on the training sessions that we deliver. We welcome feedback from all of our members to ensure that the delivery that we are providing to schools is relevant and is meeting the needs of each individual school community. The Education Regulations Part 5, again talking about parents and community involvement in government schools. Remember, it's legislated in the Northern Territory. The regulations talk about the membership composition of a school representative body. It is essential that your membership is reflective of the culture, history, ethnicity, and uniqueness of your individual school community. We often say that when you're sitting around your meeting tables, the faces that are present should be reflective of the students that you see at school pickup or school drop-off. If this is not the case, then as a school representative body and as the principal, you need to work collaboratively with your wider school community to determine what those barriers might be to engage families and how can you work towards improving the diversity of your membership to ensure that you're able to meet the needs of all students within your school. All parents of a child enrolled in the school should be encouraged to be involved within the school representative body, be that as a member through the nomination and election process, where they are wishing to be involved in school governance. Some parents might not wish to or have time available to attend 8 meetings per year, but may want to be involved in other ways. If you have families who are wanting to be involved, please consider sharing ideas about how they can be involved through volunteering in other ways or joining a committee of the school representative body. It's really important that every parent, every family within your school community has the opportunity to engage in whatever way they are willing and able to ensure the best possible outcomes for all students. Now, I've mentioned that all parents should be involved within the school and school governance. It's important to note the definition of a parent within the Education Act. Prior to 2015 and the amendments to the Education Act, the definition of a parent was essentially a child's mother or father. Now, being in the Northern Territory in a very diverse environment, that's not appropriate for a definition within our Northern Territory context. Yuendumu School Council worked tirelessly during the amendments to the Education Act to advocate for the change of the definition of a parent. This shows the strength and decision-making capacity of a school representative body, being Yuendumu School Council, who were able to change the legislation and change the definition of a parent within the Education Act to now include a person who is regarded as a parent of the child under Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander customary law or tradition. To Yuendumu School Council, we always say thank you and congratulations. The work that you undertook to change this legislation definition has enabled many school representative bodies to be established and many schools to maintain a school representative body who may not have been able to meet the requirements with the previous definition in place. Each school representative body must have between 15 and 19 members. Your school representative body details will be highlighted in your constitution. Each school representative body must have parent members, including preschool if you have a preschool at your school, and your parent membership must be 50% or more of the total membership number. As principal, you are always a member of the school representative body. Each school representative body must also include, at minimum, one teacher. So as I spoke in the beginning about the requirements to establish a school representative body should you not have one established at your school, you may not be able to meet these requirements if you are currently a school management council and do not have an additional teacher at your school. So if you do not have an additional teacher at your school and you're a teaching principal school only, this is where, under the Education Act, you must seek to establish a parent consultative group if you are unable to establish a school representative body. The membership composition also details that you may have invited members, and for schools that provide secondary education, you may also include in your constitution student members. Other than the principal and potentially an invited MLA position, who is both ongoing, parent, teacher, and student members have a 2-year term when you join a school representative body, with a maximum of 3 terms, so 6 consecutive years as a member of the school representative body. It's important that as principal, you support your school representative body to keep accurate records of memberships so that you can ensure under the legislation you are meeting the requirements for the minimum and maximum terms of members. Again, if you need help and support, please reach out. We do have templates available to support you to keep track of your members' election and nominations and term dates. The education regulations also starts to talk about the meeting requirements for a school representative body. You must have at minimum 8 meetings per year. This includes 1 annual general meeting to be held by the 15th of March, and at minimum 7 general meetings. All of your meetings must achieve quorum before they can take place. We often get asked, very often by principals and by members, what is our quorum? Quorum is 50% of your current membership. So again, reinforcing the importance of being able to monitor and review and track your membership. That will support you in understanding what your quorum is for each meeting. If you find throughout the year that you are having trouble in meeting the requirement to hold 8 meetings per year, please don't leave it till the end of the year. Please get in touch, perhaps at the end of term 1 if you've struggled to have 2 meetings, or at the end of term 2 if you haven't had 4 meetings. Schools will usually meet twice per term. The sooner you get in touch to seek support and advice on what's happening within your school community that's not enabling you to reach quorum and proceed with your meetings, the sooner we can provide wraparound support to you and your school community to be able to meet the requirements under the education regulations for holding a minimum of 8 meetings per year. Your annual general meeting, as mentioned, must be held by the 15th of March. Your AGM is an opportunity to provide an update to parents on the progress and achievements of your school from the previous year, and also an opportunity for your chair of the school representative body to report to parents on the school representative body's achievements. An AGM must not take place without presentation of the audited financial report. It is important that you work closely with your business manager to ensure that your auditor is able to provide the audited financial report prior to the 15th of March. You require 2 weeks notice prior to advertising your AGM. All AGMs are informative and brief. As with your general meetings, you must have quorum. If you're unsure about quorum for your AGM, please don't hesitate to get in touch. We can help and support. Your AGM will have a variety of reports presented by the principal, chair, and treasurer. It is at the AGM that nomination and election of parent members take place where vacancies exist. So again, ensuring that you are able to track your members' terms will help you to identify when you have vacancies arise. As principal, it is also important that you encourage all members of your school community to come along and attend the AGM. "14 days notice must be given by the principal to the school community. Your notice should include, but not be limited to, the date, time, and location, in addition to the requirements for all members to hold or obtain a Working with Children's Clearance or OCHA card. In addition, the requirements for the vaccine mandate. Remembering you must have at least 7 general meetings throughout the year. It is at these meetings where all of your school representative body decision-making takes place. This is where members carry out their functions under the Education Act. Remembering that carrying out your functions and acting within the duties of members ensures your protection from liability. Each meeting requires an agenda, a report from the principal, your financial report, committee report should you have committees, and also requires each meeting to be minuted. When you're making decisions for your school community for the best interest of all of your students, you need to ensure that all of those decisions are recorded appropriately and stored correctly. And we'll talk more about record storage shortly. Again, remembering you must have quorum for your meetings and that only school governance should be discussed. We can help and support you throughout the year should issues arise where members are engaging in conversations that is perhaps not school governance. As a school representative body, you must have office bearers. Your chair must be a parent and cannot be a teacher or principal at any government school. The treasurer should be a parent member, as should the secretary. Some schools may have asked historically for their business manager to act in the role of treasurer or secretary. If this is the case at your school, as principal, you need to ensure that these positions are opened up each year at the AGM and that parents are encouraged and supported to nominate for these roles. Again, please do not hesitate to reach out and seek support, training or advice for any parent members taking on the roles of office bearers. Meeting roles and responsibilities for the school representative body include reviewing all documents prior to the meeting. Everyone's time is precious. We want to ensure that meetings are effective and strong decisions can be made in a timely manner. All members need to contribute and participate in discussions. Everyone is equal at a school representative body meeting. Making sure that only school representative body business is discussed and ensuring that the school representative body provides a safe, open, transparent and inclusive environment for all members is essential. The ministerial guidelines established as a part of Section 107 of the Education Act determines that the CEO of the Department of Education may publish guidelines. The school representative body guidelines details requirements. Again, in point 4, it refers back to the Act, which requires principals to make reasonable steps each year to establish a school representative body if one does not exist. This means making a genuine attempt. As I've said, if you want any help or support in determining whether you have a school representative body at your school or to commence the establishment process, please do not hesitate to get in touch. Each school representative body must adopt the department's model constitution. This ensures that each school representative body operates within the legislative requirements of the Education Act and the education regulations and guidelines. The Department of Education guidelines also talks about the need for a code of conduct. All schools must develop and implement a code of conduct for educational sites consistent with the Department of Education's newly released policies and procedures. Codes of conduct must be endorsed and implemented for the school representative body employees, and also school contractors. Please ensure within your school all of these codes of conduct have been endorsed and shared with your school community. The Department of Education guidelines also talks about conflict of interest. As members of a school representative body, each individual has the responsibility to represent the best interests of all students and the school at all times. It is not about representing your own personal interests. Conflicts may be perceived, potential, or actual. Members must avoid and disclose any conflict. The most important thing when talking about conflict is to disclose it. Ensuring that you have a standing item on your agenda will prompt you at each meeting and give members an opportunity to review the items on the agenda and whether they may have any perceived, potential, or actual conflict. If anyone is unsure whether a conflict exists, please seek advice prior to making decisions. School representative bodies must be open and transparent in all of their processes, making sure that decisions are made and that resources are managed and that everything is done for the best interest of all students at all times. The guidelines also talk about the need for records management. As principal, you need to support your members and ensure that all of your records are stored appropriately. The guidelines say that all official records shall be stored in School Central. This ensures that when there is staff turnover or membership turnover, records of the school representative body are accessible to all. This includes agendas, meeting minutes, decision-making, the Constitution, reports, finances, policies. Everything needs to be stored appropriately to ensure that you are accountable to your school community. Each school representative body must develop a constitution using the model constitution template from the Department of Education. Each school should review annually the membership, composition, and overall content of the constitution for your school. Please do not hesitate to reach out for support or advice when reviewing or amending your constitution. Within the constitution, you will have detailed your school-specific composition and membership. Remembering again, school representative bodies must have between 5 and 19 members. It will determine how many parents you have, how many teachers. Remembering you as principal are always a member. You will also have within your own constitution the number of student members, if allowable within scope of the Education Act and regulations, and also whether your school representative body has any invited members. It's really important as principal that you are familiar with your membership and composition. It is also essential that all school representative body members have access to and are familiar with the Constitution, especially prior to the AGM when seeking nomination and election of members. School representative bodies cannot elect over their membership. The total number of members within the Constitution is the maximum you may have at any time as a member of your school representative body. Again, this is about ensuring protection from liability, making sure that as a school representative body, you are meeting the requirements of all of the legislation. Your constitution details, in addition to the functions of a school representative body, the details of the duties as members, ensuring that all members act solely in the interest of the school representative body and the school. Again, this is about protecting members from liability. Members must act with discretion when dealing with anything of a confidential nature. Ensuring that your school representative body has a conflict of interest disclosure and confidentiality agreement signed will support you and protect your members from liability. C, acting in good faith, honestly, and for proper purpose. Remembering this is the key to good governance practice and ensuring that you are able to meet your requirements and protection from liability. Making sure that members are there for the right reasons. Members are not there for their own individual or their own child's individual needs. Members are there to make sure that there are the best outcomes in place for all students, not to gain any personal advantage. Members must disclose a financial interest. So when you have on your agenda a conflict disclosure, if this is related to anything of a financial interest, then that member must not be involved in the deliberations or the voting on this particular item. All members must act lawfully and within the boundaries of the Constitution, Act, policies, directions, and agreements for a school representative body. Remember, as a member of a school representative body and as the principal of a school representative body, it is essential that you provide all of your members with the information that they require, the access to training, support, and advice to support them to be effective in their roles and ensure compliance under the legislation. Within the Constitution, you may also have additional documents in place, governing documents, to support you to be effective in your roles and responsibilities. Confidentiality agreement, your code of conduct, and standing orders outline the duties and behaviours required of school council or school board members. This ensures that when members join your school representative body, they are clear on what to expect and what the expectations of them are. Again, if your school does not have any of these governing documents in place, please do not hesitate to download our resources or get in touch with us via phone or email to seek support and advice to adopt these documents for your school representative body. For a school representative body to be effective, you as principal must develop and maintain a genuine partnership and positive working relationship with all members of your school community and all members of your school representative body. These partnerships must be based on trust, respect, and a shared vision for the school and the best outcomes for all of your students. When we look at the functions in the Education Act, A to O, 15 functions, these functions come with operational responsibilities, which are the school principal's responsibilities in the day-to-day management of the school. They also come with governing responsibilities. The governance sits with the school representative body. The operational day-to-day management of the school sits with the school principal. What is critical here is the partnership between operational and governing, the genuine partnership between the school principal and members of the school representative body. Although something may be operational, that doesn't mean that the school representative body cannot ask questions or that you cannot provide additional detail or reasoning to support their understanding of the decisions that you make in an operational capacity. It's also important that school representative body members have the knowledge and understanding of what is governing and what is operational, and how everyone can work together in partnership for the best outcomes for all students. The difference between the governing aspect of school representative bodies and the operational roles of school principal is something that we get asked a lot about. Sometimes we find school principals are not wanting to share information with their school representative body and may say that the school representative body doesn't need to know more information because it's an operational decision. We often find as well that school representative bodies perhaps try and cross over into that operational space and be involved in the day-to-day decision-making of the school. Please, I cannot stress enough, reach out, seek support and advice, engage with your school representative body, support them to undertake training, to access our resources and support via our website, email or phone, so that we can help you work collaboratively together, making sure that together you are able to monitor and review, and you're able to make the best decisions based on strong understanding and knowledge of governance within your school to support the best outcomes for all students. It is an operational decision for the school, and the school representative body is not involved in the control or management of a school. A school representative body does not intervene in the educational instruction of students and does not have any authority over teaching staff or anyone employed by the Department of Education. These sit wholly and solely in the operational space, the day-to-day managing of the school. It's important to remember that the Education Act, Part 6, Parent and Community Involvement in School, is about recognising the importance of communities and parents in Northern Territory government schools. Supporting your members to establish good governance processes will have a positive effect within your school community. All of the research shows that when parents and families are involved in their children's education, everyone benefits. So please work in positive partnership and collaboration with your school communities, with your school representative bodies, to be actively involved and engaged in positive partnerships, long-term strategic decision-making. It's about supporting everyone, supporting the school, supporting the staff, supporting family to ensure the best possible outcomes for all students. And finally, please remember that we are here for support and advice. The Department of Education provides us with funding so that we are able to support you at no cost to your school or your community. Please do not hesitate to get in touch via phone or email should you have any questions. Thank you all very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your principal induction, and I look forward to working with you all in 2022.